from the blackest corners of your mind, they call, pulling you deep into shadow, twisting your senses, keeping you from sleep. It's time to face your darkest fears. This is Tales to Terrify. Good evening, children of the night, and welcome. We're just a week away from one of horror's biggest events of the year, StokerCon. This year's event takes place in Stamford, Connecticut, and while I won't be able to attend in person myself, there'll be plenty of contributors in attendance, as well as our managing editor Seth and fiction editor Meredith. So, if you happen to be there, and manage to track them down, make sure to take a minute and say hello. This week, we have one tale for you, about a woman torn between who she feels she should be and the true beast that lurks within. Our story comes to us from A. Nour. A. Nour is a researcher and writer, and sometimes those two things overlap. She's an Odyssey Writing Workshop grad, as well as the recipient of the 2023 Baen Fantasy Adventure Award. When she's not reading or writing, Ashley attempts to be an aerial acrobat. Children of the night, join me for A. Nour's Lonely Skin, a Tales to Terrify original.
I remember how Tommy's mouth curled beautifully into smiles before he buried his teeth into a raw wolf's liver. This time, now, there's only a rabbit between his teeth. All the same, seeing him after a year guts me. "Pa," Jake calls, though Pa's my blood, not his. "He's back." Jake doesn't even speak his twin's name, though Tommy's his only true kin. I clench my fists for the bullets and cursing that will come. A clattering inside. Tommy takes a step back, though he's likely out of range. The tall grass is almost up to his shoulders, and he tosses his head as it brushes his chin, just like he used to sweep wheat-colored hair from his eyes. I cling to a stump of rotting fence that loops our ramshackle cabin. If I let go, I'll either hurtle toward the wolf or race back inside. Neither predator nor prey hide claims me. But in this moment, I swear I feel some sort of devilish pull. When Pa comes out with the shotgun, Tommy turns tail. He kicks up dust as he barrels back into the forest. Pa and Jake run too, but it would take too long to shift. They stay human and slow. Tommy's already made use of his lead, likely halfway through the old, mine-ridden mountain. When the men reach the rabbit carcass, they stop and allow me to catch up. Both tilt toward the sky, sniffing the air. Their noses are weaker now, but they still crumple their faces in disgust. "He stinks," Jake says, gagging. Don't think he's alone. What's that scent? Stupid boy, Pa spits. Thought he'd be halfway somewhere else if he didn't want to get shot. I thought so too. I hoped, at least. I couldn't pray for it exactly, but I hoped. Why'd he come back? Maybe he'd kept his promise. He did conquer his wolf, after all, not the other way around. Still, I can't hold him to old promises. Yes, Tommy's in there, and he promised me forever. But now, Tommy's half wolf. Pa reaches for the rabbit instinctively, forgetting himself. He stops inches before touching the bloody fur. Swallows. Esther, he says. Get rid of that. Not too close to the house. I pick up the rabbit, light in my arms. Away from the forest, past the house, I've made a makeshift fire pit that overlooks the holler. Pa used it as a lookout in the early days. No one comes this way now, not since someone dropped Jake and Tommy at our doorstep. Even by then, the refugees had grown thin. I lay the body out on a pile of stones still littered with broken white fragments. An old cemetery. I pile dry husks and strike flint over them. Then I examine my charge. The rabbit is bent in several places where she shouldn't, dappled with dark wounds. I can feel her bones through her filmy fur. I press my nose closer, inhaling deep. I only smell warm earth. Meat. My stomach twists with hunger. I grit my teeth as I begin to skin her. That's all it is, skinning. If this was a hiding, the actions might suit, but everything else would be different. I'd still tear her open. But then I'd consume all her raw insides, leaving only her hide. Then we'd join. Her essence would become mine. I could shift between forms, just like Pa and Jake and Tommy. But I'm only gutting a rabbit, not hiding. The creature came to me a corpse. She never called to me. Mama skinned many rabbits years ago. She used to love rabbit stew and made it best. The only thing better was venison. I wonder what she'd think of me now. A grown woman, untouched by hair or hide. They used to think hiding happened at adulthood. They knew nothing, really, except that it's a gruesome compulsion that defies control. Truly, who besides beasts would willingly rip open another creature and devour them raw? Surely not the civilized humans we once claimed to be. Yet here I am, years past my first womanhood, still alone, lonely. I wonder if Pa and Jake are less solitary than I, since they have their other halves. The way Jake stares at me, I doubt it gives much comfort. As if conjured, Jake's silhouette appears near the cabin. I fear he'll approach, but surely the bloody carcass will keep him away. For now. I'll never understand how Tommy became the wolf instead. Slowly, I pull the rabbit's skin from the meat, but it comes away in clumps, too many tears from Tommy's teeth. Pa didn't mention he wanted the pelt this time, and it's hardly possible. I toss clumps into the fire. They spit and crackle, sending smoke wafting toward the old shed. That cursed shed. Mama spent her first change in there, after Pa managed to lock her in, feeding her rabbits Tommy hunted. He still thought we might be able to keep her, that she might learn to control her change. We didn't know yet that Mama was gone. All that was left was the bear, the creature that won the fight. I toss the remaining body into the fire. Roasted meat fills my nostrils and embalms me with longing. I tear myself away, bolting back to the house. Before pushing the screen door, I look down at myself. Brown blood stripes my apron. I press my nose to it, but only smell smoke. Still, I shuck it off and ball it under my arm. When I walk in, Jake wrinkles his nose and Pa struggles to control his own expression. A weak oil lamp and a foggy bottle of moonshine sit between them. They take turns pouring, wobbly hands spilling as much as they drink. Oops, Jake jokes as he dribbles a bit onto the pelt at their feet. A red fox. Sorry, he chuckles darkly, rubbing moisture into the fur. Pa watches him, then glances at me, always seeking something, afraid of what he'll find. Like always, I try to show him I'm not like Mama. I go to the stove and ladle some soup, letting a small portion fall onto the fox's tail. Jake laughs, but Pa just watches me closer. Under the additional gaze of mounted jackals and snarling bears, I spoon more soup into bowls. Only wild onion and a few pieces of potato float around. Its sickly scent reminds me only of hunger. It's been years since I've had a hearty meat stew, a time after Mama. I cannot set the bowls down fast enough, releasing my hands so quick I spill even more. Jake loves it. Before I can withdraw, Pa places a palm over my wrist, just under the long, deep scar. He looks like he might pull my sleeve and follow the scratches up my shoulder. Instead, he stares at the ones across my face, following their lines over my nose and across my jaw. Go wash yourself, child, he says. You're turning Jake off his dinner. She'll need to leave her clothes outside, I think. Jake adds, studying me between laps of soup. He looks so much like his twin, it hurts. He looks at me so different, with the same face. Enough to remind me of Tommy, and enough that I'll never forget it's Jake instead. Pa shakes his head. Not with predators like your brother close. They'll catch the scent. Outside, I pump a small ration of water into a bucket. While Pa and Jake talk predators, I rake my apron across the washboard, turning the icy water pink. Somewhere, a howl rings out, and my teeth chatter. Hunger clenches my stomach. I rush back inside, and Jake slurs, Took you long enough. His blue eyes are bright and liquid in the dim light. If only they were hazel and kind. He could still be here now, if only Tommy'd been prey instead. I turn to the soup pot, but it's empty. I didn't want any, really, but my vision blurs. I hear the frown in Pa's voice. Something out there, Esther. He toys with the rifle leaning by his hip. He can be quick, I know, if Tommy's any example. Pa's long past trying to keep predators in the shed. He'll reach straight for the shotgun, or his horns. If something was outside, he'd burst out there, sober or no, and strike true. Even faster if something were in here. I shake my head, shoulders hunched, swallowing whatever tried to fight its way up. I sense Pa rise from the chair unsteadily. The scent of liquor permeates the room. For a moment, I think he might lean over and plant a kiss on my head. I should know better, though. He won't. He can't. Not until he's sure what I am. "Behave yourself," Pa says gruffly, gaze straying to my scarred cheek. With that, I'm sent to bed. I slip away to the other end of the cabin, under the constant glare of all the beasts I've skinned. They watch when I collapse onto my pallet, clasping my hands before me. I pray to resist temptation, to stop longing for venison stew, to forget Tommy's gentle eyes. I promise myself I will be better tomorrow, stronger. Still, as I drift off, one hand finds itself brushing against the packed dirt floor until it catches a patch of fur. Bare skin. I run my hand along her coat until my fingers find a claw. I grasp it, long and fine, just like her hands used to be, despite all the hard work. Strong and beautiful. I know it's wrong, but even after the blood and the scars, I still miss her. Night, Mama. The next morning, Pa and Jake wake early and strip their nightclothes off in the early light. "What if he's not alone?" I say carefully. "Shouldn't you seek other prey to help?"
"He expects that,"
Pa snaps, his back curving and bones crunching.
"We'll catch him by surprise."
Jake snorts as he falls on all fours, horns tangling towards the sky. As his nose and mouth lengthen to a muzzle, he slurs low.
"Hide into a pretty prey for me, will you? A little bluebird, maybe."
I swallow carefully. His words don't sting as much as knowing Tommy will die. He was only ever kind to me. He kissed the scars on my cheek, and soon they'll make me skin his body. Another set of blank eyes to watch me in the cabin. As the two bucks sprint toward the forest, I throw myself into whatever will busy my body, distract my mind. I do the washing until my hands burn from lye. I yank the fur rugs outside and beat them clean. Then I listen, feel. Will I know it when Tommy dies? I didn't feel it when Mama passed, though she was different, already gone. The bear had conquered her, not the other way around. She wasn't there, really. Still, the bear wore her beautiful face. We didn't know then. At least we weren't sure. I'd only wanted to see her after Pa started keeping her in the shed. I remember because it was the last time she embraced me. Then she shifted, and the bear tore into my flesh. Pa shot her that night. When Pa watches me, I know he's thinking of Mama. I have no hide, not yet at least. No creatures ever called to me the way Pa and Jake describe. An inevitable pull, a mountainous hunger. Birds and snakes alike only ever steer clear of me. I feel no pull, just empty. I run out of chores and tears while I wait for the men to return. They make me wait a long, terrible time. When the sky turns copper, two figures tramp out of the woods. Jake hauls something that catches and shudders through the tall grass. Tommy. Jake drags him by hind legs so his muzzle will be coated with dust. Soon, I'll pull the skin from his chest. The one that caught Jake's blows meant for me, the one that housed his heart. I'll have to burn whoever's left, whoever dressed my wounds and kissed my tears when Mama couldn't because she caused them. Because she wasn't strong enough. As they get closer, I make out dark streaks of blood patterning their bare human bodies. My heart marches with each step until Jake throws a bloody pile at my feet. My exhale is a sob.
Just a wolverine,
he says, lips curled in disgust. His expression is such a harsh mirror of Tommy's, it makes me sick. Pa's watching my reaction.
Any trouble?
I shake my head slowly. Quiet today. Pa shrugs on his shirt.
We're close. We have his scent and whoever's with him.
There is a stiffness when he rests his hand on my shoulder. His nostrils flare.
Skin that thing outside before you burn the meat,
he adds.
We'll want the pelt.
The wolverine is so riddled with punctures that I have to pull off his coat in pieces. Sticky and mottled as it is, I still bring it to my nose. Musk and salt. My mouth waters, and my eyes well, stinging from the fire. I toss him in, and the scent explodes, a cloud of copper and flesh. Every practical thought shrivels up in so much smoke. I don't even stop to wonder if she's a predator. I know she is. My hands shoot into the fire before I think better of it, pulling the smoldering creature out. My fingers blister as I tear at flesh. A leg. The meat is still bloody beyond where it started to crisp, and it's too tough for my small teeth. I growl and tear until a mouthful comes away. Ripe red strawberries. I moan into its sweetness. A small, evil voice whispers, "Oh, if Pa saw me." Just as quick, I throw the carcass back into the fire. I claw at my traitorous mouth, but it's already sabotaged me, swallowing several morsels. My belly feels too warm and dances at the arrival of something other than onion soup. I crumple before the fire, tearing into my prayers as if they could scratch away my sins. Tommy. He must be here to tempt me, for I want him more than anything, more than a fresh kill. His wolf, his face dominates my thoughts. I long for his body, whether in human skin or covered in fur. There are times, I think, that I desire his pelt more than his human flesh. Did Mama feel like this? Pa? Will I only be worthy if I resist temptation? Pa shot Mama because he loved her, because she wasn't strong enough. Am I meant to kill Tommy, then? The thought nauseates me, and I almost return the rest of my feast back onto the earth. What else can I do? This longing is nothing like loving him, even before his wolf. It's worse knowing he's near. That must be the inevitable pull drawing me to the woods. I know it will never stop, not until I kill him. Could I kill him? Could I be strong like Pa? I stand on shaking legs, my mind at war with my body. Should I stand or stay, cry or scream, feast or starve? I manage to do only what I always do: straighten my spine, dust off my dress, worry at bloodstains. I'm resigned only in that whatever I do, it must be tonight. I can't stand another, either longing or empty. The lamps are out when I return to the cabin. Inside, the stench of liquor hangs heavy, and the only sound is even breathing. Pa's rifle leans against his empty chair. It barely makes a sound when I lift it over my shoulder. Back outside, the moon has begun its ascent, half waning. Everything will be covered in shadows tonight. Forms shift and sway around me, shaping the beginning of a memory I won't soon forget. This night could haunt me for years to come, like Pa. One clean shot is all I need. He'll probably still be a wolf. One shot without getting too close to those deep human eyes. If I fail, I fear they'll be the last thing I see before he tears my throat. I patter across the dead field toward the mountains, stealing glances at every dark phantom, all thin grass and tree branches. The rifle hangs heavy over my shoulder, banging against my hip. When my breath starts to catch at the incline and trees thicken into rickety formations, I spot the tree. A raggedy old dogwood with T and E carved within a terribly hewn heart. My own heart feels just as misshapen, remembering him kissing me and promising forever. I stop for a moment, catching my breath. Since Tommy became a wolf, I haven't been past this marker. Pa won't allow it. I inhale deep. A scent of something tangles with the pines. Fur, musk, blood, maybe. I follow it. My limbs are clumsier than my nose, and I go in circles until the moon bears a bright, gaping laugh. I catch a paw print, another, then nothing. He couldn't be too far ahead, could he? A howl. It sounds just like Tommy that time I sewed his stitches. The tones as round as a deep forest, as bright as his laugh. I follow it, stumbling and near blind, collecting bites from so many little brambles. I cringe as branches tangle my hair, twigs snap underfoot. When I hear padding footsteps, I hide. A rustle, and I catch a glint of his eyes. It's too dark, but I know they are the same, soft and soulful. That's all I recognize, though. Faint moonlight traces Tommy's shape. It caresses his dark coat as he strides closer, nostrils flaring. There's no trace of his sandy hair, his playful mouth. He's all dark fur and sharp teeth. He sniffs, tasting the air. Tasting me, I think, shrinking back further. Slowly, painstakingly, I slip the rifle off my shoulder and tuck it against my ribs. My finger trembles against the hammer. Just then, Tommy fixes me straight in the eye. It should be too dark. It is for me, but I feel his stare. He can see me, smell me. He growls at first, but then shakes himself, almost like jolting himself awake, except nothing changes. When he lunges, Mama flashes before me. Her bestial roar echoes in my ears. He knocks me to the ground, nuzzling my neck, my chest, rubbing his scent on me. He's thicker than before, stronger. When I gasp, he lets me scramble out from under him, playfully sidestepping. Is he toying with me? He seems just like, well, himself. I must remember he is not. He may have conquered the wolf, but he still sits in its body. Who knows what those instincts want him to do? No, I yell, louder than I should, backing away. Tommy follows, and something yanks at my insides. More eyes, somewhere in the trees, or under the stars, or I don't know where. The branches reach closer, I think. My own poor eyes can only find shades of night. I stagger back further. Why are you here? I snarl at him. Dead pine needles and stones bite my palms as I search for the rifle. I must have flung it somewhere. It can't have gone far. You shouldn't have come. What will you make me do? Tommy cocks his head at that, then turns to trot away. He only pauses to see if I'll follow. No, Tommy. Go! I growl through gritted teeth, looking around for those extra eyes watching me. Even if I find the rifle, I can't do it. Not with him staring. Now, all I can think about are bears and claws and teeth. Too many pelts hanging up on the wall. He jumps at me again, catching the hem of my dress. I rip the fabric from his mouth. Stop! I snap, fumbling. My threats feel weak under his gaze and without the rifle. This was a mistake. I'm not strong enough. I should have turned the barrel upon myself before coming here. I bring the torn cloth to my face, trying to blot out the scent that's drowning me. Blot out all the terrible memories. I can't be like her, I confess to him. Please, leave, or I'll shoot. He only tilts his head back and howls. Stupid, stupid boy. Then I hear it. A rumbling response, low and sweet, like the ancient memory of sugar on my tongue. Deep as the icy stream at the bottom of the holler, my heart sputters. I turn, and Tommy's watching still. He reads me too easy. Tonight I fear I'm laid bare to the entire mountain. We climb. Tommy weaves between stone and trees as I stumble over roots. I curse, brushing dirty hands against my ruined apron. He brings me to the mouth of an overgrown, boarded-up mine. Beyond it, a great black specter. No, I whisper, a tendril of hope curling in my chest. It can't be. Mama? As she steps closer, her shadow takes on a more solid shape. No, not Mama. Not a great grizzly bear, but just as ghastly. The greatest mountain lion I've ever seen. Her sandy, lithe body makes no sound I can hear, though she's before me in a breath. Round, black-tipped ears cant toward me with interest. Her serpentine tail swishes lazily but alert. Bright eyes seem to glow in the night, golden brown. I know them immediately as my own. Emptiness wells inside me. I'm a barren cave, vast and endless and echoing. I can feel the earth breathing beneath her, the night shuddering with badgers and bats and other breathing things full of salty blood. I reach for her as her teeth yawn apart. A click of metal. Her head snaps away towards the soft sigh of a branch.
Esther,
Paw hisses, putting himself between me and the beasts, the found rifle nestled against his chest. He points at Tommy. "Paw!" I cry. But what else can I say to him? The lion's heart surely now beats in my chest. And through her eyes I catch glimmers of myself, the world. Though I am sure it will mean my death, I cannot be parted from her, ever. How can I describe the overwhelming joy of finding my other half, my hide? I will not return to emptiness again. I reach for her without realizing it. Her gaze feels like falling. Paw breaks the spell, his shoulders raised like hackles. Slowly, stiffly, he turns to the she-lion. He curses. I know he sees the pull, the spider-thin thread that connects her and I. When he turns to me, there is betrayal in Paw's eyes, an infinite well of hurt. He had to shoot Mama to save me. Now he'll have to shoot me anyway. I've betrayed him again, before he could ever forgive me.
Oh, Esther,
He breathes a rumbling, choking breath. He turns the barrel on me. I know I've been disowned before the bullet tears my shoulder. I thought he might hesitate, at least try to say goodbye, but no. Paw's been saying goodbye to me ever since I earned my scars. I wasted too many hours praying, begging for love. The lioness whimpers, experiencing my pain with me. I breathe the tang of my own blood through her. My sleeve is soaked with it. Paw avoids my gaze as he loads another shot. Tommy growls, crowding me as my other half slinks up behind. At the last moment, the barrel kicks up and surrenders a shot to the fading moon. With an anguished yelp, Paw tries to strike her with the rifle's end. I lunge forward, but I'm dizzy and the ground tips beneath my feet. Pain lances up my bloody arm. Stars burst and multiply before me. Someone roars while my vision doubles. The stars eventually fade, and Tommy's wrangling Paw's shooting arm. Bullets scatter like seeds among the brush as Paw uses one end to strike Tommy again and again until both come away bloody. Paw doubles backward when the lioness growls. I feel her limping somewhere near, affected by my injury. I'd go to her, but my eyes are still weak. I find nothing in the low branches, and I don't recognize the glimpses she shares. Then quiet. Not even a twig snap. I swear I could suddenly hear a beetle exhale, and I know Pa hasn't retreated. He's still here, hiding, studying, maybe. I cannot blame him. He can only resist his prey nature so much, just as I can no longer fight mine. Just then, a hulking black shape slams into Tommy, knocking him sideways. Jake. Tommy yelps but manages to skitter as my lioness tears into Jake's flank. He bucks maniacally, so much that Tommy can't attack. He weaves beneath the sharp hooves quickly, snapping at an ankle, a haunch. The quick nip causes Jake to overboil. He leaps and stomps, trying to mash his brother underfoot. Finally, Tommy clamps around a hind leg. The crunch is louder than his scream. Then, just when I hazard a breath, horns drive into my chest. No, not mine. Hers. Oh, Pa, I hoped he ran. Instead, his antlers twist deep. Worse is the dagger of his dark looks, his fear masked as hate, his disgust. Something snaps the moment he impales her. Whatever softness left in my heart splinters like weak kindling. Now I'm only of one mind, not two. I'll kill him. I lunge at the man I once called Pa and sink my human teeth into his neck. He makes a bestial choking sound as he struggles. His horns are still trapped against my lioness. He bucks once, twice, throwing me into some briar. They seize me all over, but no matter. I've tasted his blood now, and I will have more. I dig my nails into the dirt and find metal, a bullet. With the bullets nearby, there must be... Pa frees himself and knocks into Tommy, releasing his jaw's vice around Jake's throat. It's just enough time. The lioness and Tommy, torn and bleeding, still glancing blows and absorbing strikes. It's enough time that no one expects that crack of a shot, for the bullet to race from the briars and through Jake's eyes. Pa stares for a moment when Jake's buck collapses. He turns so still. I briefly wonder if 2 deer are somehow dead. I can smell his fear, though, an animalistic, inhuman terror. When Tommy tilts his head back to howl, Pa bolts. We listen to the trees shudder, smell the grass crushed under hoof. No one chases him. Tommy and the lioness come to me then, just as bruised and bleeding as I. Tommy lets me dig my fingers into his fur, and I find it's wet. Blood or tears. I carefully run my hands over his body, thinking of his golden human face, how I'll not live to see it again. Then she brushes against me, and all thoughts quiet. All but one. I buckle before her. Her scent fills my mouth, and she barrels into me. I fall backwards so hard the earth echoes in my skull. Teeth bared, she lunges again, but I catch her bite with my wounded arm. As her teeth sink into my flesh, I know I am surely the same as my mother. This lioness was always meant to devour me. Pa knew all along. He had warned me, hadn't he? My scream comes out more as roar as I writhe beneath my lioness. She's no longer interested in the game of men. My blood runs down her jaw. This is what we play now. The pain electrifies me, shooting adrenaline straight through my chest. I want more, somehow. Soon I'm leaning into her teeth and laughing as her eyes go wide. I've been losing the game of men, but the game of wild has fewer rules. With a primal bellow and a rush of power, I shove the lioness onto her back, right onto Jake's antlers. She snaps at me, rakes her claws over my scars, but my free hand presses into her neck. My teeth are small and poor, but I mark her flesh with them anyway, right by her jugular. I snarl triumphantly, even though I'm bleeding out all over. When she yields, I'm certain I've hallucinated it, that I'm already dead. I cannot hold back for long, though. I'm too hungry. A small, joyous sigh escapes my lips. I rip the fur from her belly, as easily as pulling a seam. I jam my hands into her organs, still beating a slow death march. She does not squirm as I tear out her heart and shove it between my teeth. A glossy apple, sugar melts on my tongue, slithers down my throat. Another bite. Another. Tommy watches me with his hazel, human eyes. I wonder if he's remembering his own hiding. Her liver comes next. I tear into it as easily as a bursting melon. Juice wells in my mouth and runs down my chin until it's gone. Her kidneys, ripe peaches. As I swallow each piece, I feel more and more of her beat within my blood. When only broken bones are left, my joints knock about, and her fur clings to my breast. My eyes find every hair on Tommy's coat. I smell his glorious scent, and grass, and feathers, and trees, and blood. Blood. So much blood. I'm strong, and undefeatable, and inexhaustibly hungry. I open my great jaws and roar. Inexhaustibly hungry. I open my great jaws and roar.
That was A. Nour's Lonely Skin, as read by Erin Grassie. Erin is a non-fiction audiobook narrator who loves a great story and hot tea. She records from Oakland, the sunny side of the bay. Thank you, Erin. Well, children of the night, the hour is late and we've run out of tales to tell. For now. Tales to Terrify is made possible by the tremendous generosity of our supporters on Patreon and PayPal. Incredible fans like Lestle Baxter, Amanda Carrillo, Amanda Gottfried, and Orion D. Hegre, whose generous support keeps these lights on and flickering ominously. If you're not a supporter, head over to patreon.com/Tales to Terrify. You'll find all kinds of perks, like ad-free episodes, bonus content, and one-of-a-kind collectibles. Every dollar goes back into this show, and we appreciate your support so much. Want another way to support the show that doesn't cost you a cent? Head over to Podchaser, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts and drop us a 5-star review. You'll not only put an unnaturally wide smile on our faces, but help new listeners discover our terrifying tales too. You can show your love of the show out in the world with some Tales to Terrify merch. TalesToTerrify.com/merch will take you to our TeePublic store, where we've got a great collection of creepy custom and curated designs. Tales to Terrify is produced by Seth Williams, Meredith Morgenstern, Andrew Gibson, Crystal Hammond, Spencer Disparty, and myself, Drew Sebastini, with original theme by Nebulous Entertainment. Tales to Terrify is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives license. Join us again next week as we descend into madness with more Tales to Terrify.